A different way to keep riding. Pam and Olly. A mature equestrian story. Introduction. Pam is a 48-year-old stockwoman who has spent her entire life riding and contract working on countless cattle stations across the heart of Australia. Riding isn't something she does. It's who she is. It's the way she's earned her living, shaped her identity, and stayed connected to the Australian country for decades. And, as always, beside her, or rather beneath her, is Olly, a chestnut, bush-bred stock horse gelding with a sharp mind, a gentle heart, and a completely dependable nature. Pam trained him herself, right from when he was a yearling. They've crossed rivers, jumped fallen trees, chased rogue bulls, weathered storms, worked drought and flood for years together. Their bond is strong, quiet, unspoken, the kind that only comes from thousands of hours shared in the middle of nowhere, depending on each other. But time has begun to shift things for Pam. Her body aches, her movements are slower, everyday activities, and yes, riding, are becoming harder. And she's started to silently wonder to herself, quietly, painfully, if the life she loves might be slipping out from underneath her. 1. Pam. I've always liked mornings, early bush mornings, when the light is soft, the air still cool, and the world feels real and honest. But lately I roll out of my swag slowly, waiting for my hips and back to remember how to move. I stagger up and wait for the stiffness to loosen enough to pretend nothing's wrong. I have a fancy swag mattress meant to support my body and assist with sleep. Is all I can say about it. Long before anyone else has stirred on the property, I plod out into the pale light. The world is still soft around the edges. I find Olly waiting at the gate of his portable yard, like he does every morning, head held proud, ears pricked forward. As I give him his morning hay, he offers that familiar warm breath across my arm. It's the kind of greeting that doesn't need words. Years of companionship have carved out its own language between us. For most of my life, mornings like this have made me feel limitless, like the horizon belongs to me. Yet my stiff, sore body this morning has grown concerns deep inside of me, more than I want to admit, because this life, this work, is all I've ever known. I really do not want to think about it, but my body forces the issue, and I'm terrified I'm starting to lose the only life I know, the only life I want. It hadn't happened in one dramatic moment. There was no fall, no accident, no single day that took everything from me. It's subtle, a long, slow unravelling that crept in around the edges of my life. 1. Olly. I know her footsteps. For years they've sounded sure and steady, a rhythm my ears instinctively follow. But recently they've changed, unsteady, measured, carrying a weight she doesn't speak about. Still, I walk to the gate to meet her. I always will. When she lays her hand on my neck, I feel more than her touch. I feel her uncertainty and a touch of sadness. She thinks I don't notice, but horses always notice. 2. Pam. The young workers mean well, I suppose, but their jokes cut deeper than they know. Getting too old for this, are you, Pam? You sure you should be doing all these long days? Don't want to see you fall off and break your neck. I laugh it off. I pretend it doesn't bother me, but inside I wonder if they're right. I've spent over 40 years in the saddle. What would I be without it? A nobody? A memory? A woman who used to be someone? Even thinking it hurts. 2. Olly. People talk without thinking. They forget their words leak into the air, and horses read the air like a book. When they laugh at her, her scent thickens. Her shoulders lock. I step closer, rub my head against her arm. 3. Pam. One night, sitting up in my swag, with pillows behind my back and under my knees, there's a familiar sound of cattle shifting nearby and a slight scent of rain in the air. Something in me just cracked. My hips were screaming, and nothing I did eased them. I felt hopeless, like a burden on myself, on the crew I was working with. My heart whispered, how much longer can I keep doing this? I pulled out my phone, that stubborn old thing with cracks across the screen, and randomly typed a handful of words into the search bar. I didn't know what I was searching for. I just needed something, anything, something real, something genuine, something that didn't judge me, that actually works for me. What I found wasn't flashy, wasn't loud, wasn't selling overnight miracles. It was steady, kind. You're not done. You just need a different way, the messages reassuringly conveyed. I didn't tell a soul, not at first. 3. Olly. She sat on her bedroll, quiet, still, looking at the glowing rectangle in her hands. Humans think they hide their pain, but pain has a scent, sharp, metallic, heavy. I stood guard, like horses stand over their herd when someone is vulnerable. She whispered something. I didn't understand the words, but I understood the ache behind them. 4. Pam. Desperate to stay in the saddle, desperate to stay myself, I began quietly in the evenings. Short, simple sessions I could easily manage. Small, careful movements behind the float when no one could see, releasing tension I was unaware I had even been guarding. Breathing in ways that steadied more than just my lungs. Learning how my body needed to move, not how I forced it for decades. Olly would graze nearby, at intervals lifting his head with relaxed chewing, watching, observing. Initially, it felt embarrassing, like I was admitting defeat, but every evening, in short sessions, I kept going, and Olly watched every minute of it. 4. Olly. She lay on the ground, legs shaken, breath uneven. Humans do strange things when they struggle. They push through the pain instead of resting. They fight their own bodies, but she wasn't giving up. I stood close, just close enough for her to know I was there. Over days and weeks, her scent softened, her muscles loosened, her breathing steadied. 5. Pam. One morning, as I lifted the saddle up towards Olly's back, I noticed it didn't hurt the way it usually did. Such a tiny thing, barely noticeable. If I'd blinked, I might have missed it. Under the open sky, I felt something I hadn't in ages. Possibility, hope, body that could stay in the saddle. And when I mounted, I felt Olly lift his body beneath mine, like he already knew I was returning to myself, just by the way I was sitting on him. 5. Olly. She settled into the saddle differently that day. Balanced, centered, tall, confident, familiar. My whole body responded, like a memory waking up. I lifted my head, softened my jaw, and stepped out with pride. There you are, I thought. Not the young woman, not the old woman, just her. 6. Pam. A few weeks later, we were chasing a runaway steer down a steep embankment into a dry, dusty creek bed, the kind that usually made me have to brace, grip, and pray my hips wouldn't seize, or worse, just give out altogether. As Ollie shifted his weight beneath me, I recognized I wasn't fighting my body. I felt stable and secure in the saddle. That relief sank in. I triumphantly returned with the steer, and the mob started to settle. One of the young workers rode past and said, half laughing, "Pam, bloody hell, you rode like you had wings." I laughed it off, but inside I wanted to cry, not from pain, from relief. 6. Olly. She didn't grip, she didn't panic, didn't doubt. She rode. I felt her confidence travel through her legs, into my ribs, into my stride. We moved like we used to, as one, in synchronicity. 7. Pam. I'm not who I was at 25. I don't need to be. I've become something steadier, more grateful, more aware of what it means to love this life and the horse who carries me through it. Every morning when he walks to the gate before I even call, I feel a warmth in my chest that has nothing to do with age and everything to do with belonging. I'm still here. I'm still capable. I'm still me. 7. Olly. She doesn't know this, but I go to the gate early because I wait for her heartbeat. I know it. I trust it. When she puts her boot in the stirrup, there's a pause, a breath, a moment I cherish. She rests her head on my neck and whispers, "We're not done yet, mate." With every step, I know. Pam's new beginning. This final chapter is not spoken in Pam's voice. It's the part of her story that only someone watching her life unfold could ever truly tell. As Pam continued her daily routine with dedicated inspiration, she regained strength physically, mentally, and emotionally. Slow and steady, an unexpected creative idea sparked inside of her, a curiosity, a small, brave voice asking, "What else is possible now?" Her imagination triggered. One quiet afternoon, she began filming with her phone, just snippets of her days with Ollie, not performances, just truth, moments of work, travel, quiet connection, the kind of rural life in Australia most people never see. She uploaded them with no expectations, no plan, just a desire to share with the world that has shaped her. People watched, people connected, people saw her, really saw her, in the way she hadn't felt seen in years. And slowly a new kind of future unfolded, not replacing her current life, but supporting it. And for the first time in years, Pam felt not just strong again, but inspired. She was not becoming someone new. She was finally seeing the woman she had always been. A rider, a worker, a woman with grit and heart, and a partner to a horse who never stopped believing in her. And now, as they ride out each morning, Ollie's ears flickering gently, head happily bobbing to his own confident movement, Pam's seat steady and sure, they carry the same quiet promise. We're not done yet. Not today. Not tomorrow. Not for a long time. This story is written and narrated by myself, the author, Tonya Boncher. If you enjoyed this mature horse rider story and want to hear more, check out and subscribe to my channel remedial equestrian therapies. Thank you for listening. See you again soon.